But I thought there were infinite timelines!
We're not on any timeline, dummy. Look!
Oh my god!
Are those cats?
I assume they're Schrodinger's cats. Or actually, I assume they both are and aren't, just like us.
Hi everyone! So today I wanted to do a quick book review on Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I read this past June in the readathon for the Shelf Space Buddy Read of the Month, and I have not reviewed any actual science fiction on this channel yet, and so since it's the first hard sci-fi I've read in a while, I wanted to take a couple minutes and talk to you about it. So I really enjoyed this book. It was a very fun, surface level, action-packed, movie-esque type of book. I would expect that it would make either a good television show or a good movie, and it just was going the whole time, right from the get-go. And it was just fun. I didn't go through this book thinking about any intensely serious topics, even though some of the physics principles that are brought up in here are. It goes through the idea of Schrodinger's cat, and we're talking about the multiverse theory and quantum mechanics and quantum entanglement and what it would take to slip from one universe to the next. And I love these kind of questions. I love these kinds of thought experiments. I'm a big sci-fi television nerd. I love Star Trek. I love Stargate. Stargate is probably one of my favorite television shows of all time. If you have seen Stargate, they do a lot of the multiverse universe switching episodes. And if you do, you're awesome. Not as many people watch Stargate as the other big sci-fi shows. So I was really excited when I figured out that that's what this book was about, because from the synopsis, I didn't really get that feeling. I didn't really know what I was walking into. But if you don't know the Multiverse Theory, or if you haven't seen the new Loki television show, because they do actually talk about this on Loki a little bit, the idea is that every single choice that we make branches off another possible universe. So it could be a small choice as to whether or not you get caffeinated or decaf coffee in the morning, or a bigger choice, do I stop at this yellow light or do I run the yellow light? And in one universe, you ran the yellow light and you got hit by a car, or you hit someone and hurt them. And in the other universe where you stopped, that didn't happen. And that has really big repercussions. And so the idea is that each decision you make branches off a different universe in which that thing happens. And there's an infinite number of universes with an infinite number of worlds. And they range from very, very similar to our own to completely and utterly different. And that is the main idea that goes through this book. And our character gets sent to another universe that is very similar to the one that we're in, only he gets inadvertently put into a slot of the person that was him in this universe but isn't him. It's very hard to describe that without sounding crazy, but he has to figure out where he is, who brought him there, why he was brought there, and how in the heck he's going to get back to his family, because he has a wife and he has a son. And so the book is this journey of him trying to navigate a bunch of these multiverse universes and trying to get back to his family. And there is this race against the clock, and there is this race against other versions of him who are also trying to do the same thing. It's really, really fun. The one thing that I did not like about this book is that the characters I didn't feel were very fleshed out. Our main character, it's Jason, isn't it? Yes, Jason. I wish that we had gotten a little bit more serious inner monologue from him. The book is written in first person, and so I guess I had higher expectations for his characterization than Blake Crouch gave us. And it just felt like we were watching him do things but we weren't really getting to the nitty-gritty of how he was feeling or what he was experiencing in a way that was sufficient enough for me in what I like from characters. The one moment that I really felt like Jason shined in the story is there's a point near the end, I don't know, I think the last quarter of the book, where he talks about identity and is one person one version of themselves. And he says, it all points to the fact that my identity isn't binary, it's multifaceted. And that was a nice addition, and you do get a little bit more of his character in that moment where he's thinking about how there's all these versions of himself, and is he really different from all of them, or is he not? And I enjoyed that conversation that Blake Crouch had, but I really thought that that was like the one shining moment of the story when it came to Jason's character. Other than that, I felt like he was kind of flat. And to be fair, I read this book after reading the first 2 Long Price Quartet books, and I feel like characterization is a little bit spoiled for me right now because Daniel Abraham does such a good job of it. Reading something with sort of lackluster characters didn't really do it for me. Another thing about this book is that the twists and turns that you come through, I didn't feel like they were that surprising. They were entertaining, and just like watching a movie where you're like, oh, I know where this is going, but I'm still going to watch because it's fun. That's how I felt going through this book. There were 1 or 2 parts where I really was truly surprised, but for the most part, I kind of knew where things were going to go. On top of feeling kind of like a movie, I guess it could also feel a little bit like a video game as well. Actually, I do think Dark Matter would probably make a decent video game. But it is very similar to other ones. The different worlds you go through and that he experiences. There's like the futuristic world that's crazy different from ours. There's the atomic desolation world. There's the one that's in like nuclear winter where people are dying of starvation and all sorts of stuff. And so it feels a little trite and a little overdone with those parts. But it was just, I don't know, it was just really fun, and it wasn't something that I think I will read over and over again. I believe this book might be part of my unhaul soon, but that's fine because I got it at a used bookstore for $1, which is a great find. But I'm glad I read it. If you like sci-fi, if you need like a palate cleanser book, I definitely check out Dark Matter. It felt sort of like an early Dresden's Files book to me, where I could read that in between something heavier, and it was just fun and fast-paced and would like get me immersed in the world just enough for what I wanted. I'm looking forward to reading more science fiction. I know Red Rising was a sci-fi series. For me, it feels like it straddles the sci-fi fantasy line, especially the actual first book, Red Rising. But I'm going to be joining in on Alan's Discord with the August of the Apt, where we're going to be reading the first 4 books in the Shadow of the Apt series, and that's going to be really fun, and that's going to be more like sci-fi as well, so I'm looking forward to that, and hoping that that gives me a little bit more of what I'm looking for in a sci-fi book than Dark Matter did. So I still would say it's worth a read. I didn't think it was terrible. I gave it a 3.75 out of 5. I didn't want to quite give it a 4 because of the lackluster characters, but I still enjoyed it. So I definitely say that it's worth a read. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you don't agree with me, or if you do agree with me, or what you thought of Dark Matter. And just like and subscribe, please, and have a wonderful day. Bye.